Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. As many of you know, I have not paper crafted in years, and when I did paper craft when my kids were younger, so probably 15 years ago, I mostly just stamped. I didn't do a lot of cutting paper or using ephemera or any of that kind of stuff. It was just some stamps and some ink pads and some markers, I think, or chalks or something. It was pretty simple. But one of my friends, Maureen, she has been a Stampin' Up! Rep for a long time, and she used to have these classes once a month. And so we would go, a group of us would go, and we would all have fun together and craft together and all that kind of thing. And so after the class, of course, she would break out the catalogs and we would order things. I would buy things that we would use during class and then get home, and then the order would come to me and I would have no clue what to do with it. So I had some things that I had purchased years ago, literally still in my cabinet here in the closet. So when I started paper crafting again after like 15 years, I started going through stuff that I had. Well, this is one thing that I found, and this is another thing that I found. So my friend Lynn, who is my new Stampin' Up! Rep because she lives closer to me than Maureen does, took a picture of these two things, and I said, Lynn, what are these two things all about? And she said, oh, you use those when you emboss. And so, of course, then I read this, and of course it says embossing powder, and it says clear. This does not look clear, and I'm going to tell you about that in just a minute. White pigment ink. And guys, just tonight when I started doing this stuff I'm going to talk to you about, I just unwrapped this and it was perfect. I mean, this has been sitting in my cupboard for 15 years. I didn't even know how to open this, guys. It took me like 5 minutes to figure it out, and I don't even know if I remember how to open it now. But anyway, I'm not going to open it on camera because I don't know if I remember how. So for 15 years, this sat in my cupboard with the plastic on it, opened it up, and it's perfect. So Stampin' Up!, good for you. This, however, I'm going to show you how I used it in just a minute, and I think I'm going to have to throw this away because this had been opened, and this didn't work out well. So then after I talked to Lynn about this, I said, Lynn, I really, like the idea of embossing. I like the way it looks, and so I guess I have to buy an embossing, hot heat gun, right? And she said, oh, sure. She was more than happy to sell me one. So this is what it looks. Their Stampin' Up! Heat gun looks like this. And it's just, 0, 1, 2 right there. Plug it in. Nice and easy, right? This is the first heat tool that I've ever owned. Why back when I guess we did this project and I bought this, I didn't buy an embossing or a heat gun? I have no clue, but anyway, that's probably why this was still in my cupboard unused. All right, so Lynn said if you want to start embossing, she said you probably want to go ahead and get this Versamark watermark stamp. Okay, so I did. And then just today, I went to Michael's because Liana found stickers there and Gina found stickers there. And so, of course, I had to go there. And I did find some, but that's a different video. So I bought these two. I really wanted gold, clear, silver, black, and maybe red. That's what I was going for, what I was hoping Michael's had. But they only have this that's called bling, and this one black, which is ebony. And I guess this looks like silver, but really there was on the shelf at Michael's, it did say silver, like there really is supposed to be a silver one. There was no gold, no red, no clear, nothing else. Okay, and these weren't on sale. These were $4.99, and I used my 20% coupon, but that's it. All right, so that's what I'm working with right there. Okay, and then the other tools that I'm not going to emboss in front of you. I'm just going to show you what I'm working with, and then I'm going to show you what I did over here. And I really, 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 please, 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 those of you that emboss, give me some tips, give me some clues, because I'm clueless still. Okay, so then I don't have one of those little embossing buddies, so I just have a dryer sheet. That's for the static that is on the paper. And then to catch the embossing powder, I have some of these coffee filters. Okay, and then this yellow paper is the paper that I was doing everything on, right? Okay, so let me show you where I started. And again, guys, those of you that emboss, can you please give me some feedback, some critique, some information. All right, so this is what I started with first. I got a white piece of paper, and I thought that I could use just like this, you know, Stampin' Spots. So I had this one shaded spruce, and then I have this Christmas tree stamp. So then I ran this across the paper to make sure there wasn't any static on it, and then I used the Versamark, and I put the Christmas tree stamp in there, stamped it on here carefully, put some of this, supposed to be clear, but obviously it's not clear, on there, and then I put the heat tool on it, and basically it just melted. It just melted. Okay, that was the first one. Underneath this mess, it's the same thing. It's a green Christmas tree that I stamped on there. And then I thought, okay, I'm going to use the black and then put the heat tool on it. And this is what happened. It all melted. Okay, and I know what some of you are already starting to say because okay. All right, just leave it down in the comments. All right, so the next thing I did was, and I don't even know if you can see this very well, but I used the same Christmas tree stamp. I used the same Versamark. This time I used this bling on there, and then this is what I came up with. Not very dramatic at all. I don't know. It just looks like, you know, I glittered it on there. It doesn't even look really embossed or anything. And I heated it, and I heated it, and heated it, but okay. Anyway, okay. That's it. Okay, so then the next one I did, I thought, okay, I'm going to change the stamp, and I went to this joy stamp, just a simple joy stamp, and then I did the same thing. I used this Versamark, and then I used the bling, and then I did that 3 times, and I mostly was practicing using the embossing. You know, do I put it on 1? Do I put it on 2? How do I hold it? I knew I should, you know, I didn't lay it on the table. I knew that. I had to hold it up, right? And I held it, actually, I'm holding it right here in front of the camera with all this stuff right here, but all this stuff wasn't here. So it was over here. I did it off to the side. Okay, but again, just not very dramatic at all. Again, it just looks like glitter. I mean, nothing happened. Okay, the next thing. So then I thought, okay, I'm going to get, maybe it'll be more dramatic if I use a dark piece of paper. So I got a dark piece of paper. I used the Versamark. I put the black embossing on there, embossing powder on there, and then I did this. Now, it does look a little bit shinier. I mean, and I don't know if I'll still use this card, but it's still just not as dramatic as I really would have liked it to be. And really, it looks more dramatic like once I'm, you know, if I'm moving it around, not like when you just pick it up and look at it. So maybe if I add some faux snow and some other little ephemera, maybe this will be okay. I'm probably going to use this one. So, okay, but I still wasn't happy. These are just some extras of what I had stamped. So, okay, let me set those aside. All right. So then what I'm really interested in is, what about when I use a different color? Can I use a different color? And so I used green, and then I wanted to try the black paper also. And both of these are done with, again, the Versamark and then the bling. And I mean, to me, these don't look dramatic, and I don't know how they look on camera to you, but when you look at them in person, to me, it just looks like glitter. It doesn't look like, oh yeah, wow, that's embossed. And that's what I'm going for. If you're going to go through the process of doing it, I think it needs to be, it needs to be dramatic. That's the only word I can think of. So, and what I really want to do is, I really like the look of when people have pattern paper, like our scrapbook paper, and they emboss on it. So, okay, so you can see that, I have some little mess ups right here, where I didn't do put enough embossing powder on it. I realized that what you need to do is, hold this over here, lay it almost horizontal, and then pour it on like this, and just shake it just like that, and then just kind of let it go all at one time, and then flick it like that. And then if there's any excess, I just kind of use this brush to kind of take it off like that. So I was still learning that when I did this, okay, and then this one too. Okay, so then the black one, when I did the black one, I'm like, okay, I'm getting a little bit closer. I like the way that the black on white looks. I love black and white in paper crafting. But again, unless you really turn it a certain way, it doesn't really look that dramatic. And then I did the black on the green, and then you can see that it's even starting to, it's starting to fade away, or it's starting to like shake off. It's not supposed to do that. I know it's not. So then, okay, so I'm getting a little bit closer, guys. I'm getting a little bit, learning a little bit more with each one of these. So, okay, I got a Christmas tree because it's green, because this is something I actually, want to do. Again, using the Versamark, I put the joy on there, and you can see, I don't know if you can see this, but it actually does look pretty good, other than that mess up right there, which I don't know if I can fix that and salvage this, but it's starting to actually look like, oh, okay. It started to look kind of plastic looking and, good. And then when I did this one, I really like this, just simple pattern paper in the back with the joy on it, and it doesn't look perfect. It's not perfect by all means. I didn't stamp it correctly, but again, using the Versamark, and then that one looks okay. I mean, there's a few in here that I'm probably going to try to salvage as much as possible, just so I don't waste them. But there's a couple I'm just going to throw away. Obviously, those I'm going to throw away. Okay, we're almost done. I'm going to tell you about this one, and then this one's the final one that I did. So then, because of course I want to, use red in my, card making, which I'm trying to get this embossing technique down, because I want to do some, I want to start making some cards, and I want embossing to be a part of it. Okay, so this is a mess up, so just ignore that right there. And so I decided to, okay, I was tired of joy. I wanted to go move on to Merry Christmas. So I broke out the Merry Christmas, and guys, this time what I did was I decided to open this up and try this. Why I didn't do that earlier, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. So I opened this up and I thought, okay, Kim, I think you can use, this is supposed to be used for embossing. Try this. I thought, okay. But every video that I watched, they always use this. That's why. I think that's why. So this white pigment ink is what I used for this, and then of course I used the black embossing powder, and then I got smart after doing all these, and I realized that I just need to keep my heat tool like this, and I need to move the paper around, and that's what worked for me. Instead of doing this, keeping the paper still, I don't know why. I guess, is that just a technique? I mean, people just have their own kind of way they do it. Let me know about that. And so then that's what I did. So I kind of did this and moved the paper around and did that. And then I came out with this, which I was really happy about. It's a little light right here by the S, but other than that, it looks good. I mean, I think, I like it. And so, all right, here's the last one that I did. I think I like the best. Again, ignore that up there. I'm just going to, probably use a little die cut and do a rectangle like square or something around this. But so I like this. I like pattern paper with the embossing on top of it. And then I did the same thing. I did the pigment white, and then with the black powder. And then, I mean, this right here took me, oh my gosh, no time at all. Whereas these over here, I was like doing this, and then yes, I even spilled the embossing powder, and oh my gosh, ridiculous. This one, I just stamped, powdered, shook everything off, boom, 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 heated up, and it was done. I was like, oh, okay, I think that's how it's supposed to actually go. So I like that. I'm definitely going to be using that. I'm going to be using the Merry Christmas on. I'm going to try to find, I'm sure I have more of this paper. I'll do it on that. So guys, here's my biggest embossing question. To me, this seems like, when you use primer, when you're painting, and you use the white, and then you put the embossing on top of it, that seemed to be what worked the best for me. I don't know why didn't this work? I don't know what the problem was with this. So, Tammy's Stamping Therapy, Bonnie, Who else am I going to ask? I mean, there's a few people that I need to ask this question. So help me, please. If anyone would please like to help me, you can, I just need to know what's going on. I'm going to go back. I am going to throw this away because I think this, from being open, I don't know, but this is, I don't trust it. So I'm throwing this away. I'm going to use these. I'm going to go back and see if they have gold or red at some point, but I'm going to start with the black. I just like the black the best. I'm just not sure about this bling. If you use this, if you have this, is there a trick to it? Is it supposed to look? I mean, again, like I said, I just don't think this looks, just like, oh yeah, dramatic. It just looks so, it just looks very glittery. I don't know. So anyway, all right, guys, thank you for listening to my embossing journey. This was the very first time. I'm going to talk to my friend Lynn, but we haven't been able to get together for her to show me because she's had a couple of COVID scares around her, so she's been in quarantine for most of this time. And anyway, I don't know. For now, I'm just going to continue to use this and the black and go with it for now, and that's it. All right, guys, thanks for stopping by. Talk to you soon. Bye.